Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League. We are in the Chaos Cup and week number 8, and we are at the very top of Division C tonight. The top two teams duking it out in this penultimate week of regulation play tonight. It's going to be the NC Snakes versus the Dinnerbell Darlings, Move versus Doug the Minotaur, Dark Elves versus Dwarves. Let's take a look at the standings before we take a look at these two teams. Ajax to the right and Black Wolf, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for your kind words. In Division A, currently in first place is, well, would you look at that? It is Ajax and the Fishy Fiends, coached by the Chaos Renegades, coaching Chaos Renegades team. They are 5-1-2. In second place is JD Whitey's Blitzburg Steelers. Their Skaven team, they are 4-3-0. And BB Nuts Believe Broncos are in third place. They're a Nurgle team. They are 4-1-1. Over in Division B, we have Spire's Philosopher's Song in first place. They're a Lizardman team. They're 4-2-1. Doug the Minotaur, welcome to the stream. Festoon, welcome as well. Cobblestorm's Goddard gets in second place. They're a Goblin team. They are 3-2-2. And Berserker Tempest, Vesuvian Lavabacks in third place. They are a Lizardman team. They are 3-2-3. In Division C, that's where we are tonight. In first place, it's going to be the away team, Doug the Minotaur's Dinnerbell Darlings. They're a Dwarven team. They are 5-1, and the home team tonight will be the number 2 team, Moob's NC Snakes. They're a Duck Elf team. They are 4-2-0 with Clypheus's Odin and Snuffle in third. They're a Norse team. They are 4-2-1. The home team, as mentioned, will be the NC Snakes, coming in with an 11-player roster that brings their TV to 1,230,000 gold. They have 2 Witch Elves, all 4 Blitzers, and a bunch of linemen to round out this roster. 1 Apothecary, 3 dedicated fans, and just the 2 rerolls. They're going to be up against the Dwarves of the Dinnerbell Darlings. They have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players on the roster, bringing their TV to 1,235,000 gold. That's just 5,000 gold in petty cash. Go to the Dark Elf team this evening. There's nothing they can do with that. So we won't even talk about the inducements. 2 runners, 1 Troll Slayer, 2 Blitzers, and a bunch of linemen for the Dinnerbell Darlings. 1 Oppo, 5 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. How are these two teams going to play tonight? We'll talk about the Dwarven team first. This matchup, by the way, is the matchup that came in the original box of Dungeon Ball. It was the full name of the game was Elves versus Dwarves Dungeon Ball. This is the matchup, which I think is just great. The 2 runners on this roster are the fastest teams, and they're not that fast. They're an MA of 6. Of course, the runners do have sure hands, which is great. And Kevin Bacon has leveled up to pick up the block skill. Lots of block on this roster. In fact, everyone has block, save for Guac Holiday, the rookie runner. Lots of tackle as well. We'll talk about what Doug will do with all of these linemen with the tackle skill in just a few minutes here. 2 players with Mighty Blow. 1 will be the Troll Slayer. 1 is General So, the number 6 Blitzer. And other than that, he has 3 guards on the line here. Soy Rogers, the Big Ragu, and Queso Bill. This is exactly where he wants to be with this Dwarven team here. He has 3 players with guard. He has 2 with Mighty Blow. Almost everybody has block. This is a team that you can see is very slow, but very bashy. They have high armor value. They have decent average strength, but they have lots and lots of block. Guard is one of the first skills you're going to pick up on these linemen. A couple of pieces with Mighty Blow. Of course, the Troll Slayer has Frenzy as well. They want to get in your face. They want to group up, leverage the guard, get those assists, get those 2 dice, maybe even 3 die blocks against you, and start pummeling you into the ground. How do you combat that? Well, you don't want to go toe-to-toe with them if you're not them. So the Elven team here, you can see decent strength, not a lot of skills. AV is not as great as the Dwarves as well, just at 9+ for most pieces except for the Witch Elves, but a lot of speed. A lot of players, 6 players on this roster have an MA of 7, the rest have MA 6. That is a significant advantage against the Dwarves, as is the agility. As Elves, they are very, very agile. Everybody on this roster has an Ag of 2+. 5 players have the block still, all 4 Blitzers. This is one of the teams where you can pick up 4 Blitzers. I think it's great to have all 4 right from the jump. You can see Moob has all 4, 2 of which are Blodgers. 1 has Sidestep as well. This is an absolutely fantastic combination. You have block, you have dodge, you have Sidestep. That means only a pal's going to knock you down, and Sidestep means you're probably only eating the 1 block because you're just going to dance away and avoid the follow-up block or the chain block. It's also a way to get extra movement. Maybe if you're the ball carrier and you get blocked, you don't get knocked down, you say, cool, I'm going to move one more space towards that end zone. But again, Doug has all those linemen with tackle, and they are going to try to put the kibosh on all 4 of these pieces with the block skill. Tackle negates dodge, and so that will be the focus of those linemen, is trying to mark these 4 pieces where at all possible. Now, Moob does have a little bit of bashiness in these Witch Elves. They have the Frenzy skill, which means on the first block, if it's a push, you follow up, you take another block. That can mean an easy 4-die block. One of them has the block skill. That's the number 1 Witch Elf, Black Mamba. He can try to get knockdowns with these pieces, but he can also use the Witch Elves to secure the end zones and just be ready to surf someone, especially on defense. Now, the NC Snakes up against this real bashy team. We talked about how they have the speed advantage, how they have the edge advantage. But how does that coalesce into a strategy? This elf team, when they're on offense, I think they're going to want to spread out because they want these dwarves to spread out. If you're giving the dwarves their assists and giving them their blocks, they're going to pulverize you. So I think he'll spread out on offense. I think he may even retreat on offense. He has a lot of speed compared to this dwarven team. He can pull back. It's often called a DACA. He'll pull off the line of scrimmage, try to engage on his side of the pitch, and stall a couple of turns that way, and then can break forward. Another thing he can do is, I keep saying he, I don't know if he moves a he or she, they. Another thing they can do is threaten the pass, right? So they don't have the runner with the dump off skill, but that's fine. They have edge too. If they throw a piece or 2 down pitch, now the dwarves have to cover those pieces. That's more pieces that are coming off the line, covering the intended receivers, and less pieces that are covering the run. So that gives you more options that way to spread out the dwarves as well. I think Moob probably very cognizant of this fact. A trap that a lot of new coaches fall into is they say, I've got edge 2+, I'm going to dodge away for free all day long, every turn. But that's not necessarily true, right? A 1 in 6 is not great odds. They're okay. Or 5 in 6, I should say, on success. They're not great odds. They're okay. A better thing to do would be to leverage, in my opinion anyway, would be to leverage that agility to maybe dodge a piece in, or even better, blitz a piece in to assist on a block. You get that 2-die block, you push the piece away, you hold these dwarves to just a blitz a turn. If they're only getting a blitz and no blocks a turn, you're going to keep more of your pieces alive, and you'll be able to hold your own against these dwarves much longer. So I think that's really the game plan for the Dark Elf team, is, at least on offense. On defense, they really just need to stay in front of the cage, the Dwarven cage, that is. And if they can do that, I think they come out on top. Otherwise, the dwarves are going to play their Dwarven game. They're going to group together, punch you in the nose, and try to move that cage down pitch. They are very slow. They're generally only moving 4 MA a turn when they're caged up. But we have seen Doug the Minotaur leverage the speed of these runners to move to move a runner free and clear on his own. We've even seen Doug the Minotaur hand off from one runner to another and get 12 spaces of movement in a single turn. The NC Snakes choose to receive here, so they're going to be on offense to start. The Dinnerbell Darlings will set up their defense. They're in an anchor defense against these elves to start. Don't you roll ones 900% of the time? Yep, that's right. That's math. Welcome to the stream, Spire. Welcome to the stream, Electrics Man, as well. Welcome everyone to the stream this evening. The number 1 and the number 2 teams playing each other. Dinnerbell Darlings, the number 1 team in Division C, separated by the NC Snakes by just 1 point. Whoever wins tonight will be in first place in Division C. Five on the line for the Snakes currently. They have Rattler, the number 5 blitzer, back to receive. That's one of these 5 pieces with the block skill. The blitzers, of course, come with the block skill. Putting 2 blockers up on the line. Now 6 on the line for the Snakes. Gonna try to block down this Dwarven line. Two players in the left wide zone, one on the right. We have Black Mamba, the number 1 Witch Elf, in the halfback position. Now here's the kick. All right, 4 on the quick snap. We'll get to move 1 additional space. There's 1 on the line. Rattler will move to the ball. The ball kicked to the 22-yard line inside that right wide zone. It'll scatter a space. Sidewinder, the number 2 Witch Elf, shifts to the right, as does the other Witch Elf. And that's all 4 movements. Tizzle Bizzle demanding death. Welcome to the stream. Ball's going to bounce 1 space forward to the 20. And now turn 1 underway for this Dark Elf team. They chose to be on offense first. That means they're going to get the blocks first. They're going to be able to hit these pieces first. And these elves, especially these Dwarven linemen, very slow. You knock them down. They only have an MA of 4. It costs 3 to stand up. They'll have 1 effective MA after standing up. So if you can keep them on the ground, that's very, very effective, especially when you have a significant speed advantage. Powell and Butch Casserole, the number 13 lineman, does have the tackle skill. Be on the lookout for these tackle dwarves. Doug the Minotaur is going to be leveraging them against these pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 pieces with the dodge skill. I thought there were 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4. That 2-die blitz over on the right side here. The right outer linebacker is going to get knocked down by Cottonmouth. No armor break. Repositions Cottonmouth back across the line of scrimmage. And now going for the 2+ ball pickup. Works out easily for these elves. $20 seconds left on the clock for the Snakes. They have just the 2 rerolls on their roster. They're going to have to be very, very careful with those rerolls. It can be easy to burn through them as this Elven team really wants to save those 2 rerolls for when he can convert them into something big. Generally speaking, a touchdown. 2-die stand-up blitz by Queso Bill. Gets a push against Rat, the number 10 lineman. Follows up and gets right back on the line. Soy Rogers up on the line as well. Has a broken arm, but that's okay. He was never going to be passing that ball anyway. A broken arm gives you a -1 or a +1, however you want to think of it. It makes your passing ability worse. So Soy Rogers went from a 5+ to a 6+. And these dwarves doing what dwarves do, taking a bunch of marks. They want to take a bunch of blocks on this upcoming turn. So they'll mark Coral Reef over in the left wide zone, Moccasin on the right, and they'll mark everybody on the line. 2-die block now by the Snakes on the left defensive end. They get a knockdown. They say, Queso Bill, go right back to where you were, please. You're not welcome here. Repositions Rat over to the right side of the line to get the 2-die block and get the knockdown on Soy Rogers. Has a 2-die left on the line against Paul Funyon, but does not have the block skill currently. Will take the block anyway, but double skulls. And Moob, understanding the value of those rerolls, says, you know what? Nope, I'm going to eat this one. I'm not going to reroll it. That'll be a turnover. Taipan gets stunned in the process. Turn 2 back to the Darlings. Okay, so Bill getting right back up on that line. 2-die block down that left wide zone. The big Ragu blocking Coral Reef, but no armor break. Now a 2-die on Snake Plissken. The only player with a real snake name on this roster. I would also accept Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, Solidus Snake, Cobra Commander. Serpentor. 2-die block in the right wide zone. Gets the knockdown here. Still no armor break. Under a minute to play here for the Dinnerbell Darlings in turn 2. They're going to go after this Witch Elf. The Witch Elves only have an AV of 8+. Looking for the knockdown here. He's got it with the block skill. Looks like he's going to take it as a dodge knockdown as he has tackle. Wants to follow up. Gets the knockdown, but no armor break. If he took the both down result there, he wouldn't be able to follow up into this position. Took the defender stumbles result because he has tackle. Tackle negates dodge, and that would allow him to follow up on the block. Continuing to mark players. Kevin Bacon, the safety, moves up one space toward the line of scrimmage. Turn 3 now for the Snakes. Oh, thanks, Festoon. That whole thing is new to me. I'm like, what is this? But thank you very much. 30 seconds have passed here for the Snakes as they decide what they want to do. So they have spread out their defense or their offense a little bit here, but after the double skulls result, the Dwarves have started to encircle the offense. So the Dwarves have started to encircle the offense here, and now the offense needs to shift a little bit. And you can see they're starting to move this ball over to the right side, getting a player behind the line here, taking a mark against this Troll Slayer. Trying to force these Dwarves to shift to the right. Here's the blitz. 2-die blitz against Gravy Crockett. Gets the POW with Black Mamba. Gets the armor break. Gets a stun out of it. Sets up a pocket of protection over on the right side of the pitch here. Has the ball across the line of scrimmage to the opposing 2-yard line. It's only turn 3 here, so you can bet Doug the Minotaur, if they can't shut down the score, they're going to try to force the score and win this game with a 2-1 grind. The 2-1 grind is when your opponent scores early. They're on offense to start the game. They score early. Your job at that point is to never give the ball back to them for the rest of the game. You keep the ball for the rest of the first half. You score at the end of the first half. You will receive the ball in the second half. You score at the end of the second half. You win 2-1. So there are those dodges to get to safety here. Had to do a couple of these dodges here due to that double skull result. This has worked out as Sidewinder crosses the line of scrimmage over in the left wide zone. Finally fails a dodge roll here by Snake Plissken. Debating whether it's worth it or not to spend the reroll. Doesn't spend the reroll. Doesn't get his armor broken, and now turn 3 for the Darlings. Two-die block against Rat. Gets the knockdown. Wyatt Burp with that block skill. Lots and lots and lots of block on the roster. And a fair bit of players with the tackle skill. All the linemen have the tackle skill. That's 5 players on the pitch with tackle. 4 players on the pitch. I think you only had 5 linemen. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 6 players on the pitch. That's right. Snake Plissken, he can escape New York. He can escape LA, but he can't escape Paul Funyon. 50 seconds to go here in turn 3, while the Darlings decide where they want to end up with this defensive formation. Here they are shifting to the right. Takes a mark on Garter. Garter just shy of scoring position. Garter, a dirty player on the roster, so could be leveraged for some fouling, but a little risky with 11 players, with nobody in reserves, just 11 players on the roster. And no bribes, of course. Darlings on the bonus clock here, marking as many players as possible. Another rush. One rush by Guac Holiday to mark Garter. 2-die blitz on Black Mamba will be either a both standing result or a push here. You can see Doug the Minotaur contemplating which decision he prefers. He's going to take the push and push the Witch Elf back a space. He can follow up to mark the ball carrier. There it is. Well done. Ball carrier now marked with the tackle piece. The blitzer is a rookie blitzer. Doesn't have the dodge skill, unfortunately. Or perhaps fortunately. Turn 4 now for the Snakes. The defense heavily closing in on the offense that's committed to the right wide zone here. Could definitely get a 2-die block on Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon defending the right sideline here. There's the assist for what looks to be a 2-die blitz on Kevin Bacon. Here we go. 2-die blitz by Black Mamba. Gets the knockdown here. Breaks Kevin Bacon's armor as well and stuns him. He's not used to getting knocked around like that. He's used to getting his way. Now Rattler has an opportunity to move down pitch, but not too far. Not sure where the extra protection will come from. Gets the ball down to the 16-yard line. Currently relying on Black Mamba here to protect the ball carrier. But Black Mamba, of course, marked by Guac Holiday. Sidewinder dodges away from Butch Casserole, tries to get in on the drive. Still a number of players who are prone on the ground, so Moob probably wants to dodge them away. Might be looking for a way to maybe block them away, but I don't see where that would come from. Oh, fail the second dodge here. We'll get to spend the dodge skill here for a reroll. Oh no, he won't because of the tackle skill. Had to spend a team reroll instead. There's that second critical piece of protection on Rattler. Copperhead with 2 rushes to the right to cover the left side of the ball carrier. Now 2-die block against Guac Holiday. Gets a push out of this. Fails another 2+ dodge. Trying to dodge away Moccasin, the rookie lineman. I mean, you've got 5 dwarves. Trying to knock you down. He doesn't spend the reroll. That'll be a turnover. Final turn of the first quarter coming up. Dinnerbell Darlings on defense. Trying to stop the score, but I think at this point they might be able to get a mark on the ball carrier. Otherwise, I think they're just trying to get this ball into the end zone ASAP. 2-die block against Snake Plissken will be a POW by General So. Just 8+ is going to break armor, but doesn't get the armor break. Mighty Blow reducing that AV from a 9+ to an 8+. Remember, Gravy Crockett has Frenzy. So Gravy Crockett will get 2 blocks, probably 2 blocks on a blitz. Taking marks first. Good action order by Doug the Minotaur, doing all of his actions that involve 0 die rolls. There's the blitz by the Troll Slayer. Takes the blitz against Carter, gets a push out of this. Takes them both down instead. Gets the first removal of the game. 1-man player advantage for the Dwarves. Wow. Quite lucky, so we'll be able to move in that space after all. Continues to mark Black Mamba. And now turn 5 for the Snakes. So the Snakes are going to try to stall for another turn here. They move the ball up to the 22-yard line and shift it back to center pitch. Most of the offense behind the Dwarven team. Doug Minotaur does such a great job with keeping his formation together. With such a slow team, recognizes that that's the big negative aspect of this team is just how slow it is and just how difficult it is to get them into position. So you can see Doug often setting up with that anchor position and just moving pieces in such a way that he can keep that formation together. He almost never overextends on defense. Is able to keep the offense together, keep the defense together, get those marks, force this offense to make a decision, which often means if the Dwarves are holding down center pitch, that means it's going to be one of the wide zones, and then the Dwarves are able to just swoop around and try to shut down that offense. These very fast, very agile Dwarves have gotten, or elves, I should say, have gotten away from them here, as they often do, but still, I think Doug just does such a great job with these formations. Now Moob setting up the tackle zones to protect this ball carrier for as long as possible. Failed dodge the end of turn 5 now for the Dinnerbell Darlings. They have they're down to 2 rerolls for the half. Both teams using a single reroll so far. Seconds on the clock here for the Darlings. They're repositioning Soy Rogers to take a mark on Copperhead. They could get a mark on the ball carrier here. Here's the blitz by Wyatt Burp. They get the knockdown thanks to the tackle skill here. He'll follow up for that extra point of movement. This will give him an opportunity to mark the ball carrier. One rush to get on the ball. That block cost him a point of movement, as it does on a blitz. On a blitz, you have to spend a point of movement to take your block. If you don't have that point of movement, You can't take the block. And now another rush by Butch Casserole to get between Sidewinder and Rattler. Sidewinder, as we all know, also not a snake. That's definitely a missile. I don't know what Moob is thinking with these names. So I got a message. I wanted to bring this up. After what was the game? Let me see. After Philosopher's Song versus Goner Gets, I got a message from Cobblestorm. I asked Cobblestorm if it was all right for me to mention this. I think it's important. I got a message from Cobblestorm some hours after the game. And keep in mind, this was a game that Cobblestorm lost, and a game that bumped them out of first place. And I get a message from Cobblestorm. Yeah. This is the coach of the Goner Gets. And they say, hey, I picked up 2 SPP on my hooligan on a foul, and that's not right. And I said, all right, well, let me take a look. So I watched the game again, and indeed it looks like a bug in Blood Bowl 3. So long story short, I submitted the bug. I filed the bug with the Cyanide. And then we corrected the roster. But I wanted to point out that was so sporting, right? Like the level of sportsmanship there was so, like, Cobblestorm could have absolutely gotten away with that. Nobody would have noticed. And the fact that Cobblestorm mentioned it, I thought was just indicative of the level of sportsmanship that I not only expect, but that we have in the league. So big props to Cobblestorm for bringing that up and allowing us to get that corrected. I thought that was just awesome. .33 seconds ago in turn 6 here for the Snakes. Yeah, had to take the dodge here. Failed the dodge. Will spend the re-roll. Good dodge. Might need to get this, pop this ball in the end zone here. There it is. Very well done by moving the NC Snakes to get on the board here, 1-0. But also very well done by Doug the Minotaur to force the score. Move taking that extra turn to keep the ball carrier safe. Really well played by both coaches here. That was a great Elven offense, a great Dwarven defense. And now the Dark Elves on the board, 1-0. Giving these Dwarves just 3 turns to score in the first half. Both teams doing exactly what they needed to do there. And the Snakes just couldn't keep it safe for another turn. Move rightly deciding to get the ball in the end zone, I think. Dark Elves look to be setting up in a chevron formation. Screening out the pitch, it seems. 3 on the line, spread a space apart. You have to put at least 3 on the line here. That's what that +3 means. And you could have no more than 2 in either wide zone. That's what that 2- means. There's the chevron formation for this Elven defense. Screening out the pitch. Just wants these Dwarves to not score, which makes complete sense to me. Currently the 2 Dwarven runners back to receive, Guac Holiday and Kevin Bacon. A kicker would be an excellent piece to have on the board here for the Dark Elf team. They could park that ball right in the corner and make it not impossible, but make it very, very difficult for the Dwarves to get on the board. In a matchup like this, a kicker can be very, very valuable, right? If If you're in the lead against a really slow team and you're a fast, agile team, you just kick that ball all the way to the other end of the pitch and just watch them slowly waddle over there to pick up the ball and start making their way down pitch. But if you're behind, you can make a shallow kick, and then you can start to engage and try to leverage your agility advantage to snake this ball away. Who got the knuckle dusters? The Dinnerbell Darlings. Boy, as if they needed it. Dinnerbell Darlings are going to choose a player to have Mighty Blow. I think it's just for the drive, right? Yeah. Just for the drive. Who picked up the knuckle dusters? Queso Bill. Queso Bill with Mighty Blow for the drive. There's a KO by Gravy Crockett. Now one-man player advantage for the Dinnerbell Darlings. Yeah, exactly right. James Like Snack says kick buys you at least 1 to 2 turns in these situations by putting it in the backfield. Exactly right. So there's Queso Bill with that Mighty Blow skill, and it works out. 2-man player advantage now for the Dinnerbell Darlings. Nuffle be praised. Removes the rookie lineman with Mighty Blow. General So on a push against the left defensive end, and now that defensive end getting pushed one more time by Soy Rogers. Is that a pumpkin? Is that like a necro ball? Dude, I block against Garter, gets a pal here. Wyatt Burp on the block. Trying to get rid of this dirty player. Don't think the dirty player will be fouling much, if at all, in this game. Gets an armor break out of here and gets a stun. See if the Darlings can do anything about that stun or not in the upcoming turn. It's gonna depend on what happens with Moccasin here. If Moccasin leaves Garter alone, one of these linemen could try to pick off Garter by placing him here, leaving Garter with nowhere really to go. Good 3+ pickup by Kevin Bacon, now in possession of the ball on the Dinnerbell Darlings' own 8-yard line. Darlings back on the bonus clock. Natural swagger. That's right. Kevin Bacon's got that natural swagger. Turn 7 for the NC Snakes. Just trying to stop the score here. And then hopefully have enough pieces to regroup for the second half of this game to try to win. They'll be in the lead. They don't have to get super aggressive to win. They can just stay in front of this Dwarven offense. They'll be in good shape. And if they have most of their pieces on the pitch, that'll put them in good position to do so. Dude-Eye Blitz by Copperhead gets a pal here. Wyatt Burp getting knocked down. Needs a 10+ on the armor break. Still has a space of movement left with Copperhead. We'll see where Copperhead ends up. Could just stay right where he is. He'll shift one space to the right. Just Rattler one space to the right as well. Just keeping a screen of players in front of this offense. Good 2+ dodge by Moccasin to get away from this offensive line. 2 runners will probably, you'll see them here. These 2 runners, this is where they are right now. They will probably never be grouped up next to each other, and that's because Doug the Minotaur wants to keep the option to move, hand off, and move again, and get a big turn of movement with these 2 runners. Turn 7 now for the Darlings. They have to end this turn in scoring position, and I think it might actually be a handoff to Guac Holiday. Snakes with no rerolls remaining for the half. So these dwarves need to end up in scoring position. That means they need all the speed they can. Their fastest pieces are the 2 runners. Why do I not see the circles? There we go. Under the offense. So these 2 green pieces here. These are the MA6 pieces. So the Darlings will probably try to move this ball down pitch, get a little bit of protection, and then mark every single one of these dwarves. Just to hope that one of them fails fails 2+ dodge. And then Darlings can get this ball into the end zone on turn 8. Five seconds ago in turn 7, the Darlings with 2 rerolls. It used to be the case that you could only spend 1 reroll or 1 team reroll a turn, but that is no longer true in the new rule set. So the Dinnerbell Darlings with 2 rerolls can make a very big play happen on a single turn. No action here by the Darlings. We're now back on the bonus clock with 6 minutes 30 seconds to go. Doug the Minotaur being very calculating here, deciding which direction this ball needs to move. Looks like it'll be to the right. Troll Slayer blitz. 2-die blitz against Snake. Pliskin gets a push or a POW out of this. I think he'll want to take the POW. He does indeed. Good armor break here. Doesn't have to worry about that piece for the rest of the game. Always great to take out a blitzer. That's a block piece that you no longer have to worry about. Marking out Sidewinder, the number 2 Witch Elf. So no handoff this turn. Kevin Bacon's going to move down the right side. Blitz has been spent, so there's no more blocks to take. There are those marks being taken by the dwarves. Going to mark as many of these pieces as possible, and that's all of them save for Black Mamba. Under 5 minutes on the bonus clock. Where does Kevin Bacon end up? So Kevin Bacon might be staying at center pitch here. He's going to threaten 2 potential receivers here. Has General Custer, the number 7 blitzer on the left side, has Guac Holiday on the right side. They both have an edge of 3+. And Kevin Bacon stays dead center, giving himself as many options as possible. Turn 8 now for the Snakes. So right now, that is a long pass to General Custer, which is not great. And it's a long pass to Guac Holiday, also not great, but remember that Doug the Minotaur has 2 rerolls left. Could spend one on the pass, could spend one on the catch. That's effectively like having the pass and the catch skill. Did I block him? Butch Casserole by Copperhead. The number 4 Blodger breaks armor. Gets a stun. And now 2-die against Queso Bill gets a push. We'll follow up here, I imagine. Well, he might not want Rattler to die. Oh no, he doesn't want to follow up because he wants to blitz Kevin Bacon, I think. Ooh, what a scary blitz that would be. Kevin Bacon, again, in long range. A push would still be long range. 2-die block gets General Soul, gets a push out of this. Really wanted the knockdown for a potential assist on this blitz. Will he still blitz, or will he just mark numbers? Or mark one of the two. Yeah, he's gonna mark Guac Holiday on the right side. And then takes a mark on Kevin Bacon. No blitz. One player left to activate for the Snakes, and that is Sidewinder, the number 2 Witch Elf, currently marked by 3 dwarves. 2 of which have the tackle skill. Doesn't need it. Here's the blitz on the right side. 2-die blitz against Guac Holiday. Only gets a push out of this. Finally gets the knockout on the Frenzy. I don't know why finally was the term I used. But gets the knockdown on the Frenzy follow-up. So Guac Holiday no longer a scoring threat. It's going to come down to General Custer. Final turn of the first quarter. Can the Darlings get on the board? If so, they'll be on offense to start the second half of this game. They'll be in pretty good shape here to try to win it. If it's 1-1 at the half, then Mood needs to start thinking about what the strategy for the second half of this game is going to be. Are they going to get aggressive and try to win themselves, which means they need to recover it from a very tough Dwarven cage? Good removal here on the left side to get a KO. We'll see if the KO sticks at the end of the half. Or do they just want to play for the draw? It's late in regulations, week 8 of 9. This is the penultimate game for both of these coaches. So if the Snakes go down 1-1 at the end of the half, the strategy might be just to try to draw, right? Because you get one more point out of that, as opposed to losing where you get no points. And you need to be in the top 2 in order to guarantee your spot in the top 8. Top 2 teams from each of the 3 divisions will advance to the top 8, and the 2 best teams besides will advance to the top 8 as well. So points matter a whole lot here. Good 3+ dodge to the handoff. Good handoff to General Custer. Now it's 2 rushes to get on the board. Here's the first. Fails it. He has a reroll. Got the second. Well done by Doug the Minotaur. Very well done. One to one at the half. We'll see how many KOs come back. All the KOs come back for the Snakes. That's good news for moving the Snakes. So it'll be 11v10 on the pitch, I believe. And the Snakes will set up their defense. Good handoff to General Custer. Fails the first re-roll, but will spend the second and get in the end zone. Well done. 10 on the pitch for this defense. That's a lot. That is a lot of pieces. So Moob in good shape here to stop the score. But now again, the question is, do the Snakes want to go for the win and risk getting those 3 points that will put them in very good shape to make the cut? Or but the risk reward is 3 points or perhaps 0, or play for the draw, where you'll get a point at least out of it. So we'll see what Moob decides to do here. Back up to 2 rerolls for the half. So giving up the most of the left wide zone here by the defense, shifting this defensive line to the right side, and there are 10 players on the line currently for the Darlings. Kevin Bacon back to receive. General Custer coming off the line, as is Wyatt Burp. So just 8 on the line. 2 wide in either wide zone. Dinnerbell Darlings in ace formation. Here's the kick. And Kevin Bacon gets an opportunity to pick this up on the 50-50. It works out because it's Kevin Bacon. Turn 9 now for the Dinnerbell Darlings. Good reception on the high kick. They've got the ball on their own 14-yard line. 3 blocks on the line to take, and then a blitz. Moob says he baited me with a chance for two dice on the ball instead of marking his potential scoring threats. Boo. It's part of the game, man. Ball advances up to the 4-yard line, so Kevin Bacon standing comfortably behind this Dwarven line. There's a windup. Big uppercut to stun Moccasin over on the right side of the line. Yeah, one of the reasons I like Blood Bowl, it's very similar to fighting games in that regard. There's a saying in the FGC, in the fighting game community, there's 3 elements to being good at fighting games. There's mind, body, and spirit. Good stun here again. 2 stuns on the line. You don't have to be good at all 3, but you could be good at 1 or some combination of the 3, right? You have the body players. These are the execution players. They never drop a combo. They always know, you know, in Blood Bowl, they never misclick. They never misposition a piece. Everybody's always exactly where they need to be. Things like that. They would know all the probabilities. They know exactly the correct action order for things. You have the mind players. These are the guys that spend a lot of time in the lab, so to speak. That's in training mode in a fighting game. The Blood Bowl equivalent to that would be someone who knows all of the skills, all of the detailed nuanced rules, all of the interactions, how everything works mechanically turn to turn. And then you have the spirit players. These are the guys in fighting games who get a read on their opponent. In the FGC, you'll often hear the term being downloaded. That means maybe I spent the first round or the first game losing, but figuring out how you play, and then I beat you in the next round or the next couple of rounds because now I know exactly how to play against you. And that happens in Blood Bowl all the time, right? There'll be players that set up gambits to try to incentivize the opponent to play a certain way. Or they'll try to goad you into a move or maybe put something in a position that doesn't look, that isn't quite obvious. So you have all 3 of those elements in Blood Bowl as well. That's why I love it so much. Oh! Got the removal on Butch Casserole. Oh, it is not often you remove dwarves from the pitch. And now it is 10v10 on the pitch. Wow. Rattler on the blitz. Well done. You know what? I said you weren't a real snake. You know what? You're a real snake now, buddy. You're a real snake now. Isn't the Rattler like a G.I. Joe vehicle? I think it's like the Cobra A-10, like the aircraft. Dwarves dodging off the line here, trying to hold these. Or not the dwarves, the elves dodging off the line, trying to hold these dwarves to a block or a blitz, I should say, this turn. Dwarves will continue to take these marks, which means the elves will need to counter inevitably with some sort of chain block or a blitz or something, maybe even a frenzy blitz with a witch elf. Otherwise, they're going to fail a dodge, and they only have the 2 rerolls. Kevin Bacon moves across the line of scrimmage down the opposing 2-yard line. Boy, I wonder how these... Are these just, like, in a texture map? Or is there, like, a... like, that is an impact. Like, somebody got punched from here to here. With that splatter pattern. 2-die blitz against Snake Plissken. Gets a push here. General So on the block. Repositions the blitzer right in front of the cage, marking out Rattler. Rattler, the blitzer, who's feeling pretty good right now, having removed one of these very resilient dwarves from the pitch. The Darlings continuing to, so you can see, man, Doug is so good with formations. So you can see he's got his standard 4-point cage here, but he's still keeping his offense spread pretty wide here, trying to spread out the defense. And so for the elves, when we talked about that, the idea was to minimize the assists by the dwarves. For the dwarves doing that, this is maximizing their movement options. So by spreading out, if these dwarves start to swoop in on the these elves start to swoop in on the sides, then the dwarves can bust a hole through the weakened defensive formation and then move the whole cage down pitch. Two-die block against Paul Funyon. Garter on the block. Again, needs a 10+. Four seconds left on the clock for the Snakes. Now the blitz. They get the knockdown on Sunday Kid. Good use of the blitz to free up Garter. So the Elves are applying pressure on the right side here. We'll see how Doug Mintar reacts to this. Two good dodges in the left wide zone. The Snakes down to a little over 5 minutes on the bonus clock. Turn 11 for the Darlings. So they have an opportunity to shift back right here. We'll see if we'll see if that's the direction they want to go. They do have this Troll Slayer to push number 7 out of the way. Troll Slayer with the Frenzy skill. That means the Troll Slayer could effectively get 2 movements or push a player 2 spaces instead of 1 on a block. Good action order, taking those marks first on the left side. Doug the Minotaur is going to move over to the left. So committing to the left wide zone here. Kevin Bacon on the opposing 4 inside that left wide zone. Shore up the cage here with General So. 2-die blitz by General So gets a POW here against Rattler. Won't follow up. Good knockdown. No armor break. General So not going to be the corner on the cage. Instead, it's going to be Gravy Crockett, the number 4 Troll Slayer. Takes a 1-die against Rat back behind the line of scrimmage. Gets a POW here. Breaks armor. Gets a stun. Wyatt broke to stay put to exert some tackle zones on the right side of the cage. Turn 11 now for the Snakes. So the Darlings deciding not to move down the right side. They're going to move to the left side instead. This will give the Elven team an opportunity to try to encircle this offense, but they have to be a little bit careful here due to the positioning of the Dwarves. So the Dwarves have tackle zones. Here, right? That's pretty solid. And if you get overly committed by trying to push in players here, you're going to eat a couple of blocks, maybe even a blitz. Your formation's going to crumble on the right side, and Doug's just going to move this cage right back to the right. Spire rooting for this Elven defense. One die block over in the left wide zone. Copperhead on the block. Gets a both standing result out of this. Copperhead putting in a lot of work in this game. Important turn here for the Snakes. SP Beaver says, I love that I tune in just as Ava draws on the screen. Time for mayhem. Oh, SP Beaver, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for your generosity. Welcome to the stream. Good blitz on the right, front left corner of the cage, rather. Gets a POW on the big Ragu. Cottonmouth on the blitz. Follows up and takes a mark on the ball carrier. Kevin Bacon marked by the sidestepping blodger, Cottonmouth. That sounds like a Wild West like moniker. You sidestepping blodger. You get out of my town, you sidestepping blodger. Turn 12 now for the Darlings. 2-die block against Cottonmouth. They'll get the knockdown thanks to the tackle skill. Cottonmouth will sidestep right in front of Kevin Bacon. He says, I may get knocked down, but you're not going here unless you dare to jump over me. 2-die block against Copperhead. Oh no, double skulls! Double skulls, and that's going to be a turnover for the Darlings. Spent the reroll looking for the knockdown, and Nuffle provided 2 skulls instead. An opportunity now for the Snakes. The ball is not marked, but that front left corner of the cage certainly is. Two-die block on that front left corner. Gets a POW here. Spire says, oh yeah, thanks for drawing on the screen right before I got chainsaw yesterday. No problem. Anytime. Yeah. Stand up blitz, 2-die blitz on Kevin Bacon. Got the POW. Where's the ball going to end up? Will Kevin Bacon remain on the pitch? Of course he will. It's Kevin Bacon. Ball's going to bounce across the line of scrimmage to the opposing 2-yard line. Good blitz by Cottonmouth. That's true. Double skulls is a knockdown. And now taking a mark on Wyatt Burp. So now, Moob applying pressure to that cage has worked out here, and now it's trying to mark out some of these dwarves to keep them off the ball for one turn. If they can keep these dwarves away from this ball for one turn, these elves have a very good shot at picking this up and just heading towards daylight. A 1-die on Gravy Crockett's gonna be a skull. He'll spend the reroll here into a skull. Double skulls again. And now the Snakes are gonna lose their one standing player marking the ball. Turn 13 for the Darlings. Final quarter of play. It's a 1-1 ball game. The Darlings, the number 1 team. The Snakes, the number 2 team in Division C. Both teams have burned 1 reroll. The Darlings down to 2. The Snakes down to 1. Seconds down here, and turn 13 for the Darlings as Doug the Minotaur tries to figure out how to recover this ball. 2-die block on Rat, gets a pal here. We'll follow up with Wyatt Burp, I believe. No, he's going to stay put. Trying to keep controlling center pitch. Doesn't want to get locked up in this left wide zone. It will be almost impossible to push down pitch unless Nuffle provides some lucky rolls. Two-die block against Cottonmouth gets a push out of this. Cottonmouth can sidestep, but does he want to is the question. He might just push himself back a space. Cottonmouth is going to keep the pressure on these dwarves. So General Custer on the block, and now Gravy Crockett with Mighty Blow has an opportunity to knock down Cottonmouth. That's not going to cut it. Unless a reroll is spent, that'll be a standing Cottonmouth. There's the reroll, and Cottonmouth remains standing. Cottonmouth almost certainly going to remain on the ball here and move to this space here. There he goes. Frenzy follow-up finally gets the pal here. Oh no, and the armor break. Very good armor break by the Troll Slayer. Gets a stun on Cottonmouth. Big stun here for the Darlings. Cottonmouth will be out for next turn. No standing dwarves next to the ball currently. Kevin Bacon will stand up and try to pick this ball up on the 3+. The Darlings back on the bonus clock with under 4 minutes to go. They're down to 1 reroll for the game. Hank the Ranger, welcome to the stream. Hank the Ranger says, if Kevin Bacon dies, I won't be sad about it. Good pickup thanks to Sure Hands. And rushes this ball to safety. Staying on the, or I guess moving to the opposing 2-yard line. Kevin Bacon's going to stay on that opposing 2-yard line. And gets to the safety of the Dwarven cage. Now turn 13 back to the Snakes. So Moob applying that pressure is definitely playing for the win. We'll see if the strategy changes here at all. Moccasin, the rookie lineman, is going to stand up, currently marking Gravy Crockett. He was just to the left of the ball carrier. Rat, the number 10 rookie lineman, moves forward and marks the back 2 pieces on the cage. Here's the blitz. 1-die blitz on Kevin Bacon is a pow! Gets the knockdown. We'll see if he can break armor. Needs a 9+ here. He cannot. The ball's gonna scatter down to the Snake's own 6-yard line, just between Queso Bill and Soy Rogers. 2-die blitz will be a double pal on Soy Rogers. And they'll push onto the ball here. And the ball's gonna... Oh boy, the ball bounces in the hands of Snake Plissken. Which I'm pretty sure if there was gonna be a third Escape from New York movie, it would involve football in some way. Double Pals pushes onto the ball, gets the knockdown. The ball is going to scatter into the hands of Snake Plissken. And now the Snakes have recovered the ball on defense. T-Die block gets General So, gets a knockdown here. Spire says, I wish they didn't have sure hands, just more Dwarven overturning. Yeah. Escape from the dwarves. John Carpenter comes back for one more movie. Escape from the dwarves. Oh, please, John Carpenter, please make that movie. I want Snake Plissken to escape from the dwarves. Turn 14 for the Dinnerbell Darlings. They are running out of time. Soy Rogers stands back up, marking Snake Plissken. Snake Plissken currently marked by 2 standing dwarves and a prone Kevin Bacon, but all of these pieces marked by elves. Look, if Snakes on a Plane can get made, Escape from the Dwarves can get made. Let's make it happen. Come on, Hollywood, let's go. That's sort of the Hobbit movie. Well, it needs Kevin Bacon. It needs Snake Plissken. Which is not Kevin Bacon, it's Kurt Russell. But you know what? That's it. We've got Escape from the Dwarves with Snake Plissken played by Kevin Bacon. Perfect. Kevin Bacon will definitely get his first Oscar for that. 25 seconds to go here in turn 14 for the Dinnerbell Darlings. Stand up blitz by Kevin Bacon is double skulls. The final reroll gets spent. Gets the knockdown on Snake Plissken. The Darlings out of rerolls. The ball ends up now on the Snakes' 10-yard line, just inside the left wide zone. Double skulls on Rattler. Wow. And stunned. Queso Bill with double skulls and gets stunned. Turn 14 for the Snakes. They have a free player in Sidewinder to try to recover the ball. One of the fastest players on the team. The Ranger says, hey Ava, could you please draw on the screen every time Kevin Bacon's about to be blocked? If you don't mind. I'd appreciate it, thanks. Not going to pick the ball up by Sidewinder. Instead, going in on the blitz. Gets a POW out of this against General So. This frees up Black Mamba. Might be a dodge by Rattler to pick up the ball. Trying to set up some protection on the ball. Ball carrier. Yeah, here's the dodge. Oh, failed the dodge. Good recovery. Hands off the Black Mamba. Very well done. Very well done by the Snakes. And there they go. They're taking off. And nobody can get to them other than a mark by Wyatt Burp. Wyatt Burp would have to get pushed in order to get a blitz on the ball carrier. Very well done by the Snake. You saw him move with the blitz, repositioning the Sidewinder as well, just to get a level of protection to try to control this third of the pitch over here. This looks like a DNA double helix. Finally fails a dodge, but he's got some quality protection on the ball carrier now. So turn 15 for the Darlings. Boy. Boy, oh boy. It's not looking good to stop this score. SP Beaver says, I need to learn how to elf like these elves. No rerolls left. Nobody who can innately get to or take a block or a blitz, I should say, on the ball carrier. Wyatt Burp is one space away. That's including 2 GFIs and, I don't know, 37,000 dodges. 2-die block against Moccasin gets a pal. Takes the blitz against Cottonmouth, gets a push here. Cottonmouth with sidestep can just keep marking Wyatt Burp and says, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'll just move it back to space. So Wyatt Burp will follow up and continue to mark the blodger. So the Dinnerbell Darlings not taking the insanely risky play. SP Beaver, thank you very much for the bits. It was absolutely the wrong decision to make the super risky play. But that means the Dinnerbell Darlings are almost certainly going to lose this game. Turn 15 for the Snakes. We'll see if they punch this ball into the end zone here on turn 15, or if they think they could stall us out for one more turn if they're afraid of the timeout. They're going to stall it for one more turn. There it is. Black Mamba is going to set up right in the corner of the pitch on the Dinnerbell Darlings 24-yard line over on the right sideline. They have 5 players to keep this ball safe. There's one. Just needs to put a whole gaggle of tackle zones between the Dwarves and Black Mamba, and they will have all but guaranteed this touchdown. Two-die blitz on Paul Funyon. Gets a push out of this. There's the blitz spent. Snake Plissken on the blitz. That's going to free up Taipan to be that 5th player. There it is. Final turn of this ball game. The Dinnerbell Darlings can do absolutely nothing to get at the ball. They're going to end up losing this one 2-1 unless there's a grievous error. a really bad misclick. SP Beaver demanding death in this final Dwarven turn. Not going to get on the blitz. It's just a push against Garter, the dirty player. Or Massive Greed. That's why Smasher225. Welcome to the stream. Massive Greed can also do it. I don't think the Snakes are going to be greedy at all with no rerolls remaining. Dinnerbell Darling setting up the foul against Copperhead. 5 assists on the foul means a 4+ will break armor. Here it is. It's looking for the 4+. Oh, you tried to foul and you couldn't even pull it off. There it is. The Snakes are gonna win the game 2-1. Well done. Very well played by both coaches. Congratulations to both. That thumbs down was for the foul. Oh boy, very well done. The White Dwarf himself disappointed by the loss. The NC Snakes are going to advance into first place. Very well played by both coaches. With that victory, the NC Snakes remain undefeated in Division C, the only remaining undefeated team, I might add. They are in first place with 17 points. The Dinnerbell Darlings still very much in this competition with 15 points. Each team has one more game to play. That'll be week 9. Remember, the top 2 teams from each of the 3 divisions will make the cut to the top 8, and the 2 best teams besides will will earn those final 2 spots in the top 8. So these games very, very important. We have lots more action to go after this. Let's take a look at the schedule before we leave for the evening. I think we have a doubleheader tomorrow. And indeed we do. So our next game will start tomorrow, Monday, April 7th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's UTC -4. That will be the Birds of a Feather versus Dangerous Knights Crew. That'll be a Division A matchup. Galeshi versus Connor. That will be Elven Union versus Dark Elves. And then immediately following that game at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to have the Pip Stars versus Wooden Men and Iron Trees. Dead Fred versus S Beaver. That'll be Lizards versus Wood Elves. There is a game in the middle there that's unaired. What will probably happen is we'll catch a little bit of that game before the second game begins. It's going to depend on how fast or how slow the first game goes. But that middle game will be Lizard Wizard Giz Fest versus the Gutterballs. Malik versus El New Marino. And that will be Norse versus Orcs. That's another Division A matchup. So we'll probably catch a little bit of that as well tomorrow. And then that will be it for Week 8. There's one more game left to be played in Week 8. That will be an unaired game on Tuesday. After that, Week 9 will begin. It's the final week of regulation in this Chaos Cup before the cut to top 8. Remember, there are 3 open competitions in a season. This is number 1. And the 3 winners and the 3 runners-up will earn a spot in the Invitational at the end of the season. That's the championship tournament. And then a number of other teams will qualify as well, depending on how that bracket shakes up. Last season, we had 11 teams qualify for the Blood Bowl. So a lot of coaches were surprised that they qualified, but it just depends on how the bracket shakes out. So a lot more action to go. When Week 9 begins, coaches will begin scheduling their Week 9 matchups, and when those games get scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at maml.club. That's MAML. Tripleheader if you are dedicated. That's maml.club. That's MAML.CLUB. Here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel. Play Blood Bowl, man. This game is super duper fun. There's lots of agency. You have lots of options. You can build a team exactly the way you want. You can play it exactly the way you want. There's lots of different factions to choose from that all play very, very differently. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, and Xbox, and a tabletop forum at your friendly local game store. Until tomorrow night, Monday, April 7th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Take care. That game was so stressful. Please don't make me play Dwarfs again. Hey, man. Blame the Mersenne Twister. Don't blame me. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.